Coming up on today's Retro Robbins show, we have a look at some new games. We go back to Crash number 66, clickety click. Oh, I love a bit of bingo calling, don't you? And of course, we raise a glass to Sir Clive Sinclair, my memories, and a big thank you, of course, as we end on a bit of a somber note to say farewell and thank you. So join me now on the Retro Robbins show for a bundle of excellent gaming retro fun. Isn't this so good? Titles time! So here we are, welcome to the Retro Robbins show. Well, it says it on the screen there. What's happened this week? Of course, the tragic news of the sad demise of a legend in history, Sir Clive Sinclair. And of course, Greavesy from the Satan Greaves show, and a well-known footballer of high magnitude back in the day. And an only fools and horses star, and I won't try and do his laugh, have all sadly left us. The angels have come and taken them away. And may they all rest in peace. Towards the end of the show, I'll have a little reflection on what Sir Clive Sinclair did for me and what he meant for me. And he changed my life for the better, brought me many happy hours of joy. Well, more on that in a bit, of course. We're going to have a look at some new games, and I'm going to go through them and give them a bit of a review, shall we say, from me, and see what I think of them. There's a good combination of platformers, and I think I've also got to shoot them up in there as well as a look at a new game for the Commodore. That's right, we've got a Commodore versus Spectrum special in the next show, but unfortunately we won't have time to fit it in this show. As always, I like what you see, look at the word subscribe. Let's have a look at this game before we carry on. I'm going to show you the case, of course, so bear with me. You can see the case there, by Felix Ware. They've gladly sent me that tape through. If you do go buy the physical copy, it's great for us collectors, especially now I'm starting collecting Commodore games as well. There's not enough room in we need a bigger boat. This room's getting full of retro before I even know it. I'm going to be... What is that program they call? Hoarders. That's me! And I'm looking forward to it, that's right. I'm going to be hoarding like mad. I've already got loads of cassette decks, cassette players, Spectrums galore, of all types and varieties. But we'll have a look at that game in a moment. That'll be the first up on today's shooting list. Woo, I don't know what's happening. My voice went a bit strange. Today's sound is provided by we're using the Omni in the background as well to provide sound today, as well as the Toast Rack Plus 2, and maybe the I might throw in a bit of a Plus 3 to additionalise some AY background music for us there too. Still working on the show. AY Tunes coming up, which is Pick of the AY Tunes by Retro Robbins. Top 20, probably top 30, it all depends how much I can fit in within a reasonable time span of my favourite AY tunes. And I'm going to go full DJ styly on that one. Yeah, that's not off pop pickers. You know, back in the day I was a bit of a DJ. In the meantime, let's have a look at this Commodore game, Chiller number 2. I'm going to be careful because the sound coming from the television gets picked up very easy on the microphone, and I remember last time that it was just a little bit too loud. Yeah, right, Felix Ware sent me that. You've got it in the mirror image form. I came with 2 inlay cards. The one inlay card was for the Commodore, the other one was for the ZX Spectrum 48K. But I don't think it's actually out for the 48K or 128K Spectrum as it is. Maybe that's something coming up on the future. Usually with Felix Ware, they'll put a Commodore one side and they'll put the Spectrum the opposite side. Fortunately, there's your loading screen. Oh look, Felix Ware have even got their logo on there, and it's just quite a good logo, Felix Ware, I've got to admit. For Commodore, you get to choose to be a boy or a girl. It's in the same vein as Chiller. However, remember the Chiller logo compared to this logo? I do. I thought the Chiller logo for the Spectrum was absolutely brilliant. In the meantime, we'll get on with loading this game and give it a play and tell you what I think of it. Thought I'd have a look at the old Spectrum 48K's Chiller logo. I'll load it in, of course, by Mastertronic. Chiller 2 for the Commodore is based on the Mastertronic original of this game, but it's like a sequel, a follow-up. Yeah, I remember when I used to play this, was one of the very first games I actually had with my Spectrum. It came with a few games because I bought my first Spectrum second hand. It was bought for me by my mum as my Christmas present, and I've not looked back since. What an absolutely fantastic loading screen. It reminds me a little bit of the video with Michael Jackson and the Thriller video. So whether that was based on that Thriller and they've just called it Chiller, who knows? Well, it all depends what year it was out. I suppose it was roughly the period that came out too. Yeah, it's a cracking logo, isn't it? But we're not here to review the Spectrum game, we're here to have a look at the Commodore one. So that should be loaded now, so let's move on to there. Just listening to the SID sound, let's turn it up so you can get full listening. Does sound a little bit like Michael Jackson, doesn't it? Return of the Jackal. Okay, first impressions, nice opening screen. I like the fact that the Chiller's bouncing up and down at the moment. As I said earlier, you can play as the see the little girl dancing at the bottom there, or you can play as the boy. I've got it, you know, I can look. Have fun with that. We're going to have a look now, let's give it a go. Devilishly hard, let's put it that way. I've played this game a few times now. Can we zoom in a little bit, get some good big picture? There we go, I think that's big enough. Maybe back a touch so as we don't over swamp the picture. And I'll pull myself forward so I can see what I'm doing. Right, whoops. And we're going to go around and we've got to collect these crosses. Remember, there are some nasties in the way, which is... there are things there that will hurt, let's put it that way. And we need to jump past them. As you can see, you've got a life bar at the bottom. I've collected my first cross. I didn't collect my second cross though. I've lost a few life bars there, so we'll get that. There's nothing there to hurt me yet. Second one down. Right, where's the other one? Back up there. Look where it is. Well, we got up there just so we got to get there again. There's a little. Whoops. We lost a few bits of bar there. Oh no, bad move, Wayne. Oh, I'm only down here. Oh, goodness me. I won't last too much longer at this rate, I can tell you. Haha. Now there's little, see those little red things on the floor and purple things, you've got to avoid those because they're sort of deadly, which, believe it or not, is easier said than done. As you can tell, I lost a few life bars there. Oh, there you see I'm losing lots of life bars all of a sudden. Oh, I didn't realise there was a bridge there, did I? Right. Oh. And hopefully that may be the last one, I don't know. But I don't know if I'm even going to make it there, so... Oh, right over the other side of the screen. Oh no, I'm down to my last bit. Where's your one? Oh, there he is. Got 5 left. This doesn't bode well for me, to be fair. Certainly doesn't know I've done that. Right. Oh no, I've got 1 left now. I'll just run through it like a... Oh well, you would be up there. I still haven't got off the first screen. Despite my best efforts, I still haven't got off the first screen. Well, okay, what do I think of the game? Well, in all fairness, it's quite fun to play. It's not easy, of course, and it really is difficult getting off that first screen, and I've been giving it a go. But then Chiller was notoriously difficult, wasn't it? So, yeah, you've got to collect a certain amount of those crosses before you can move on to the next level. For the sequel, remember the Chiller originally for the Spectrum wasn't that big a game. It had about 3 screens, was it? In a big sort of mansion in the background and forest or whatever. That game was okay. It wasn't top of the notch, but it was a game that was early in the life of the Spectrum where we didn't get really great games there, did we? Marks out of 10 then. Okay, sound-wise very good with the SID. Bit repetitive the first tune, and same with the second, to be fair. But it does add an atmosphere to it, and the graphics aren't too bad. So for that reason, I'm going to give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Available from Felix Ware, of course. So support them. Go and buy a physical copy, or even pay for a download, and you can load that on your Commodore if you've got one as well. So let's move on now to have a look at what's new on the Spectrum. I'm just checking for the right fold to pick on, sorry. Right, let's have a look. We're going to go for wait the loading screen. The game we're going to review is... That's if there is a loading screen, of course. Oh, it's not a bad one. It's okay. It's a bit small. So I did want to use the Retro Force, and I'm a force for retro myself, I have to say. I'm not sure this has got AY tune, but I'm sure I'll know in a moment because it will clash as usual. I like the way it does that, that's very nice. Ah, it does. So you got the choice between defining your keys, so you can redefine your own keys. Good stuff, coders, that's what we like to see. Can't beat a bit of redefining the old keys. And you've got what looks to be permanently on the screen there is sort of that display. We can also use for Kempston. Interesting tune to start with. So we got to shoot them up, okay. Well, is that a power up? Have you got to hold your button now? Oh, if you hold your... Okay, that's not too bad. So we make it into a bit of a tall background. You can see the bullets. Oh, there's stuff you got to destroy on the ground then, okay? Ah, where do we start? Oh, we don't start at the start. Oh, goodness me, that's such a short life scale. I'm sort of just hemmed in here a bit. Ah, I had for the same thing again there. I've got to do better this time. Right, I'm going to just use the rapid fire on my finger, not just hold the button down. Oh, I see they do home in slightly, do they? Okay. Oh, you got to destroy the bees. Get you. There's like a bee on the ground, so the sprites are pretty nice. Interesting, aren't they? Ah. Yeah, I've got the bees. Okay, so. Wow. Do they fire at you? Well, I've just cleared a few things there. You don't get time to get everything though, do you? Doing okay, aren't I, considering? Right, now, oh, no! Oh, you do start a little bit further on. Okay, that's good. I like that, I like that. Tile background's very smooth. The scrolling's very nice. Monochrome game colour, of course. Do you get continues? Oh, well, I don't know. We'll find out in a moment because I'm rapidly dying. These bees fast. Oh, I missed one. Right, what's that? Oh, that's another one. Oh, something there. Oh, it looks like he's indestructible. That's not good, is it? My score's going up rapidly. Oh, he is destructible, but you have to really hit him a number of times. Good stuff. So there's nothing at the moment that... Oh, I was trapped there. There's nothing at the moment that comes from behind, which is helpful to me. That's at the least. So once you get your first bonus, you're able to rapidly fire. Okay, I'll get you. Well, you can go away. Oh, how did I avoid that? And we've got to a bad boss sequence, have we? Well, the first of the boss sequence. Well, that wasn't so bad. That couldn't have been the main boss. Stage finished! And that, believe it or not, is my first go. Oh, that very smart sounding AY tools there. Is it AY though? It's just so... just reminds me of another console I've played with a similar sort of sound. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell me what it is. Oh dear, I didn't see him come, did he? So, you start at the start, then you start not right back where you die. You start a little bit further back. That ain't a bad thing, really. So you don't have to keep trying to get through each section of the game. You're getting plenty of goes. That's good. The sprites are nice. The firing mechanism, until you get the bonus, is a bit hard. So, you know, you've just got to rapidly hit the button, which is nice. I do like the sound of the firing, though. That's neatly done. The variation of the sprites, the bad boys, are pretty good. And it's not really difficult. It's not hard. It's a nice level of difficulty, if you know what I mean. You can actually get around. I want that. Thank you very much. And once you've collected something like that, as you can hear, the sound effect of the firing has changed very slightly. I can see the bullets, which is good. So you know you're not getting lost. The bullets are not like tiny dots either. Oh, these ones are super easy. You just stay there and die for me. Alright. Just avoiding one bullet. Kept my eye on the bullet and then died. As you can see, a little bit further on. Come on. Oh. Darn it, eh? Well, Retro Force. I really enjoyed playing that game for a shoot 'em up. I thought it was pretty good. It's nice sound. Yes, it's monochrome. I haven't seen it change colour, but as you get further on, I believe that it does. The background will change to a different type of a colour, so that you've got no colour crash. But what you have got is a good sense of playability. So I'm able to get through the levels reasonably, and with a bit more effort, I'd probably do a little bit better. There's lots of variation in the game itself. You know, it's pretty good, to be fair, as good as a shoot 'em up as you can get. Not enough targets destroyed. Well, that's a story of my life. What am I going to say about that game? I'm going to give it a full... I'll turn the AY sound on. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. A pretty good shoot 'em up, a really enjoyable experience. One for you to try, and of course, please download it and give the code as a tip and reward them for all their hard work if you can. You may enjoy playing that one. That should be pretty fun. I did, so yeah. Let's have a look at something else then. there's the loading screen of the game we're going to play. Tuku Soft, of course, and not a bad looking loading screen, to be quite honest with you. As you can see, I'm loading the tap file, so we get the full Spectrum experience, but you don't have to put up with this. This game does have 128k sound, which is at the moment being provided by the Harlequin 2D 128 that I've solded up, the Red Devil. You may have seen that, it's in full effect, it's on test, because that is probably going to be sold off for charity, along with a peripheral to plug into the back of it as well, hopefully to raise money for dementia and Alzheimer's research from the Retro Robbins. I'll keep you posted about that though. All in it owes me around about £200, which is basically what I'm donating, and anything on top of that is a bonus. So if you want to bid on that in the future, when that gets when I get the minutiae of the plan to order, it'll go straight into the charity's bank and hopefully help to provide a good service for people who are suffering with Alzheimer's and dementia, which is what my old man is suffering with, to be honest, and it's a debilitating disease to say the least. It's not necessarily a natural part of aging. My dad was as clever as anything. He's been known to desolder valves and work out the right values and replace them with transistors, and he's done all that. He used to repair TVs for people in the past. Never used to charge for repairing TVs, and he used to do it a lot. He was into his electronics and that. That's why I've got a lot of equipment in the background. Enough about that for now. Let's see what this game's like. We'll get straight to it. Nearly there. Okay, your choices are keyboard, Kempston and Sinclair. So, yep, there you go. A hardcore space game. And because I've got my newer joystick, I have used dual joystick, but I do really like using this wire-free version. Seems pretty good, to be honest, and got to say a big thank you there for Matt, who recommended that. So we can see we've got oxygen. The amount of clones we've got is 15. Nice sounding neighbour, isn't it? You won't be able to hear that in stereo, but it's a really good balance of stereo. Obviously this is just a mono recording. A bit of a change of pace there. I like that. Oh, there you go. You're in the chute, that's you. And of course if you press up, you've got a fire as well. Your oxygen's running down. And it looks like you are trying to, that's it, we've opened the gateway, destroy what looks to be COVID particles. Maybe that's what it is. So when we go through that opens the second gateway. Nicer colours, I must admit, there's a lot of colours going on there, isn't there? Monsters are easy enough to destroy, but watch, don't be alluding to a full sense of security, because there are a few nasties on the way. Ah, there you go. As you can see, my life leg suit is taking a beating. That blue bar there, and oh, I haven't opened the gate yet, have I? So the gate's got to be that one down there, is it? Yeah. Is that something I can collect? Yes, I've collected something. And that's just rang up. Oh. And because I failed there, we've got to open the gate again. Lost my first clone. But we're okay, we're through to the next screen, which is good. Right, those little green things they look like they're going to be fairly deadly. So, oh no, look what I've got to collect up there. Oh. How on earth? This is going to be tricky. Oh. Right, is there a button I can use? I'll use the button rather than the up. I might be able to do it that way. I did it then and I just failed miserably. Oh, I collected, well at least I collected, so now I can not worry about that too much. And I'm using my clones up fast, so this is going to be a short go indeed. Gates open. Now how am I going to get round to there? I nearly did it, right. So you've got to open the gate again, have I? Oh, I needed it. Why did I hesitate? I hesitated and then it cost me, of course. Right, okay, so I can see what they're doing with that, and it is quite a tricky game. I quite like it. I like the starting tune, I like the style of writing, and I like the idea of the game itself. It is seriously difficult in that last screen, well, definitely, where you've got to collect that and you've got to collect that, and there's hazards both top and bottom. As you can see, I was getting zapped. In fact, that probably took, well, the majority of my lives in one go. Will I be able to get into that game? Well, yeah, probably. Marks out of 10 then, what would I think about that game? I'm going to give that about a 7.5 out of 10. I like the fact it's not a black background, it's a coloured background, and that makes the game feel somewhat more special. Not a lot of games, they just use a black background and just put the sprites on it and gets a bit plain and boring. But because of that coloured background and the AY sound, I thought it was a decent game, and I really enjoyed playing that. So, Project, one for in the future. Give it a go, see what you think, and leave a comment below and let me know. So, that's all. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Well, I didn't even want to rhyme there, but okay. Moving on then. Just loading up this Agatha. There's your loading screen, one of them at least. There is a couple, of course. Press any key to continue, and I think we will do that. This has got a bleeper at the start, so I'm going to just kill the AY sound, because as soon as I press this, well, we've got the choice of Kempston, keyboard, Sinclair, or redefinable keys. Well done for that. That always gets a thumbs up from me. The keys are basically OP, Z and Q to use. Z and Q is not quite the keys I would prefer, but as we got the option of redefining them, why not do it? So let's have a look. So we're going to go left and right. Just get me bearings. I should get a pack of bearings, shouldn't I? Jump, and I'll use that for use. And pause, I never know what to use for pause. Okay, so let's have a look at the game. Keyboard it is. Ah, right, okay. So this is going to be one of them really annoying platformers which is... Have you got... Oh yeah, you can change direction in mid-air. That may or may not prove to be useful. Any touch of any creature is instant death. And obviously this is using the ULA Plus engine, because I've got orange bricks there, which would probably be more of a reddish colour. Now this is a bit as well, you've got to jump but not hit that wall, because if you jump too early you end up down there. So you have to sort of almost be off the platform's edge before you jump, and if you jump too late you fall down, which means you've got to go all the way through the routine again. And of course you want to increase your jump. It says needs better jump, so you've got to collect something to be able to jump big, even though that looked pretty big to me. And of course, when you move on to the next screen, if you don't keep pressing left when you first originally enter the next screen, you'll see what I mean in a minute. You will land on the platform there, but if you don't press left, then you will probably just drop down and die. This is the first real obstacle you're going to face, which I made look fairly easy. That's good. And it looks like you're in a house, which is good. Oh, I missed that. How did I miss that gap? Well, probably because I thought, yeah, it's getting the jump right. It's got to be precise. Within reason, of course. There you go. So they're 4 squared characters, aren't they, for the sprite? Interesting looking. A little bit chunky in nature, aren't they? He looks a bit grizzly, doesn't he? Is that meant to be a grizzly bear? I don't know. Now we've got the jump, we should be able to do a big jump, which means I can probably move on to other screens you wouldn't have been able to, well, proceed to without that. So, good. You can jump both of these at the same time. Well, you can if you're a good player, but if you're like me, then you bite the dust quite easily. I just about made it then, to be fair. Right then, now we can go down here. We've got to do a big leap of faith. Oh yes. Now that's important because without that I've collected there, the jump plus, you wouldn't be able to do it. Now we can collect these little dots there, those little yellow pills. We'll move on. There's one there, of course. So that you've got a little collection, haven't you? As you can see, I've got 3 lives. That's annoying, so I've got to just jump onto this little ledge before I can jump over there. Right, okay. This is not a lot happening on this screen. It looks fairly simple, doesn't it? I'm going to need a big leap of faith on this one. Oof. I've got to run for it. Obviously I'm not going to be able to get past all of those green grass there, so this cannot be the direction to go. No, I didn't think I would. How big a jump can I do? Well, I can try that out now. Oh, maybe I might just manage it. We'll give it one more go. If not, we'll go a different direction. No, there's no chance. So there's that is not the way to go. Oh, interestingly enough, that has returned. I wonder if that's a glitch or if it's meant to be like that. Ah, so that means I could be stuck. Because if I can't get up there, then there is no way out of this. So I have actually found myself going into a dead end. Agatha, right, give it a bit of a longer play earlier, and I thought it was okay. It was not bad at all. I can see what they was trying to do, and in places they have achieved it, especially at the start. And it opens up quite colourful, and then it becomes pretty plain and dull. But not a lot happening on the screen there, and no real sense of direction on which way you got to go. There isn't an arrow telling you to go get this and go get that, so you've just got to learn as you go through the game. Is it enjoyable? Yes, but only because it's new and you don't know, you know, as you're working things out, which way to actually go. Would I go back to it? I don't know, probably have a few more goes, but I can see me tiring of this sort of thing pretty quickly, especially if you keep running into dead ends further down the game itself. Marks out of 10 then, I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10. A noble effort and not bad at all. So yeah, I do like the sprites, they're not too bad, are they? And a grizzly bear, yeah, he's always looking in one direction, but he does definitely look like a grizzly bear to me. So let's move on to the Crash re-reviews, where we go back in time to a particular Crash, take a look at the games that was featured in that Crash, and give them the re-review treatment to see if they stand the test of time. Hopefully we will come across one you haven't played before, one you may have played before, and you'd like to see all over again. Reprogram time. Right, we're going back to 1989, issue number clickety-click. Oh, the bingo lingo's coming out strong there. As we go back to July 1989, as we re-review 4 games from out of that particular Crash magazine. And then if you stay with me, and we'll have a little bit of a raise a glass to St Clive. The Crash magazine would have cost you £1.50, and one of the games in it was Thunderbirds. Was a Crash Smash at 90%. So what's the first game that I've picked today is by Activision, and of course it is Time Scanner. What can I tell you about this game? Well, we'll have a look. It's got 128k sound. It's got reasonable good 128k sound. Not cheap. In fact, it's expensive at £9.99.
Why so expensive?
Exactly, Alexander Armstrong. You're fooling nobody with that disguise. Ratings are as follows then. Presentation 80%, graphics was given 81%, sound was given 82%, that's okay. Playability also was given 82%, addictivity was given 83%, its overall rating was 81%. We're going to load, obviously, we're going to go for that 128k version, see if we can get a loading screen should there be one. And now, right, the keys are just 2 keys to be fair, W and O, and as soon as you press enter the music will start. So ready. So we launch when we're ready, and that was a very good launch, but we'll try again. Oh, straight away I'm down to the bottom now. I've lost my first ball straight away. Unbelievable! That's better. You got to hit it at the right time. So you've got a top section to the game, and if you hit those things at the side there, which hopefully I'm going to try and do for you now, there, and you hit a certain amount of them, you get bonuses that come up. You can also light those numbers up as well, which is what it will do as part of the bonus. Oh look, first ball was a disaster, but the second ball's doing a lot better, isn't it, eh? There we go. As you can see, number 1's lit up, so we clear it for 1 each side, then number 2 will go, and 3 and so forth, and then of course you have to hit it once more for the big bonus. I doubt if I'll get that far. Obviously based on the old pinball games, which were quite popular for some time. There you go. Now if I can clear this side as well. Oh, nearly. 2 each side. We're getting there. We don't really want to lose the ball too early. And we're down to the second section, but it's not a disaster because there's lots of bonuses to be had here, especially a volcano explosion. Once you light up all those traffic lights there. And we've got a super bonus going on now. Yeah, you get to light the letters up as well. Oh, we've lost the ball, but nevertheless, we can see our scores slowly going up. And we'll try again any minute now. Oh, this time I actually managed to get out first time. Yeah, that never happened to me before, where that's, you know, but as you come to record, lo and behold, I actually failed to launch a ball. That's the way it goes, and that's not happened to me either. That rarely happens, but lo and behold, I'm recording, so now I've lost 2 balls quite comfortably. I think the key is to put them pretty start. Unfortunately, sorry, hit them pretty quickly to be fair, not start. Ah, dreadful. A-boy sounds nice. The tile background's not too bad. Wow, look at the balls I'm losing here. Wow. I've hardly had a go yet. I want my money back. Good job I didn't pay for it. I'd have been the laughing stock. I was never any good at pinball games anyways, was I? Let's be honest. And of course, none of them are lit again, so see if I can get up that volcano. If you can open that, you can shoot back up to the top. And hopefully we'll get to do that. If I frantically hit the buttons, I might get lucky. I don't know. Yep, you're getting all the bells and whistles. Getting quite frantic at times. I think I've got to light them. Don't go down that end. We're getting close. And the ball's benching around like mad, and I'm just hitting left and right like mad and hoping I'll get lucky. There we go, we get launched back to the top. That's what I wanted to show you. And you haven't got to worry, that will launch every time, so you can get, we got one lit up straight away. Doubt if we'll get many more than that lit up, but we'll try. Back down to the bottom again, okay. Ah, there we go, now we can get a volcano. Big bonus please. 100k, that's good. That'll get me on the high school sheet, surely. And we've lost the ball. Credits remaining 5. Game over. We didn't even get a bonus ball this time, but I did get on the school sheet after all that. Let's what do I think of the game? Well, yeah, I found it quite playable. I'm getting texts, believe it or not. And it was enjoyable. I found it a little bit too random, to be honest. You know, there wasn't really any skill in controlling. Sometimes there was no way of stopping that ball. For instance, I haven't ever not been able to launch a ball before, but you know, for some unknown reason that time round, you know, I didn't, and I lost 2 balls down the side, and that never happened to me in recording either. But I can see the appeal of it. I can see the appeal of it. Sorry, you can probably set quite a few high schools there, and you know, challenge anybody if you want to save a snapshot. You probably do a lot better than me. So it was given an overall rating of 81%. Personally, I would have only given that a 7 out of 10. It got quite high ratings throughout. The sound, I can understand that. It had A-boy sound. It was pretty good for that reason. Imagine if that hadn't had any sound at all in the 48k version, it would have been a bit plain and dull. But yeah, it was not bad. Not bad idea for the pinball game. So yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Have you tried that one before? Have you even seen it before? There's 10,000 plus games for the Spectrum, and that's an ever-increasing number, so the chances are you haven't played them all. Let's have a look at another game in the right file. So, Titus, £8.99, the game that is coming up. Presentation, 81%, graphics, 78%, sound, 49%. There's your loading screen for you. Crazy Cars 2. Now, I've played Crazy Cars, and it was a tragic sequence of events, as you remember from the previous episode of Retro Robbins. I couldn't stay on the road. It's a good job I'm a driver for a living, believe it or not. Yet these simulated driving games, they just don't feel realistic to me. Maybe they are. Playability, 84%. I'll be the judge of that. Addictive qualities, 80%. Addictive qualities, same thing I suppose. Overall rating then was 79%. I don't want to watch this loading sequence all the way through, so let's zoom to the start of the game. Okay, we've got the game loaded, and there's a demonstration in it, so hopefully the... got AY sound there. But mainly of the effects of the racing. So I can see it's QA. Oh, it's ZX. Ah, right, okay. Well, this one's a little bit easier, and no, it's not too bad. It's like a continuous drone though of oh. Oh, get on the road. Oh, crashed twice in a row. And there's the car I'm supposed to be out running, never mind. Didn't stop, did he? I need an ambulance. Right, let's get past him. He's probably telling me off somewhat. Right. So there's lots of obstacles for me to avoid, and already I'm panicking because I'm a bit worried about crashing. You can hear the siren of the police car behind me. Sounds very American. It's catching up. That's because I need to change gear, which I have done. Now I'm leaving him for dust. It's good. And what I'm trying to do is just have a look at the game mechanic and see how smooth it actually plays. I can actually get into races and all of that in a moment, yeah. But the keys are a little bit tricky because I'm using QA, ZX and caps on the rubber keyboard, so it's sort of all in the wrong place, if you know what I mean. The graphics of the car are pretty good. The control of the car is pretty good, even though I'm making a rather terrible job of it. And the speed is, the scrolling's quite nice, to be fair. There's not a lot really that can go wrong. The background, shall we say the horizon, is looking nice as well. So it's another well done racing game, and I presume there was a different direction that you have to go in later in the game. How is he in front of me when I've just got past him? Oh right, I'm on this, I've gone down the narrow lane and crashed, and so far so bad. Now, okay, we'll try and avoid them. I see they look massive in the distance and then they get smaller as you get closer, which I find confusing because you want to be able to get round them, but you don't know which way they should be, those barriers. Okay, I've been caught. I just let him run into the back of me that time, didn't I? I'm finding it very hard. I'm not enjoying it as much as I was earlier. I mean, I've crashed into the same car twice. How come he doesn't explode? You are under a vest. No, arrest. But I've also got a vest on. No, I haven't. I'm not that old-fashioned. New driver, yes please. Try again. This time we'll do a better go. Okay, we've got a different set of controls then, have we? Oh, P's for pause. So I've had, hang on a minute. I've only just started. Better. Let's give it another go, eh? Well, this time we're going to nail it. This time there's going to be no crashes. And hopefully I'm not going to hit them two barriers, which will be coming up just after this hill, if I remember rightly. Bit of a pattern recognition game. There they are. See, they look too big in the horizon. They cover most of the road and then they get smaller and you haven't really got any sort of direction that you've got to go. So I didn't like that part. And, oh right, I need to go to a low gear. That's what I'm doing wrong. Come on, move. You want to go slow? It's not changing gear like I wanted to. At least I should be able to get past him. Oh, I see. I have to press backwards before I can get forwards. Now I've booted it past him. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. You do have to slow down with these games, don't you? I'm getting the hang of it now. I understand now. Whoa, two bends and I've hit the first lamppost. I've had enough. Okay, what do I think of that game? Well, I think you know. I didn't like it because I like it was smooth and it was very monotone, black and white of course. I should have enjoyed it, but yeah, you can crash too easily for my liking. So marks out of 10. Well, it got 79%. Let's turn that music down a bit. It got 79%, so why not just give it a 6.5 out of 10? And I think that's more than fair from my point of view. You know, when it comes to racing games, I'm very selective with which ones I like and that. Chase HQ and of course Outrun being two of my favourites. This one I haven't played before, and I think you can pretty much tell that. It was as bad a go as I did with the Crazy Cars. But saying that, it might be one you like, so, you know, maybe I'll be a bit mean. At least it's got AY sound, it's not music, it's a sound effect. So that's not too bad, we can live with that. And yeah, one for you to give it a go maybe. Let's have a look at another game from Crash number 66. Okay, this next game I've been played a bit. I quite like this game, I'll be honest. Spoiler alert, £8.99 by Virgin Games. The presentation 73%. You'll see what it is from what's on the screen there. Silkworm. Let's turn the loading sound down. I know I've got it on there. 14 megahertz for fast loading in the 128k game, which has a nice opening AY sound, I must admit. Presentation 73, graphics 73, sound 59. There's no sound in the game apart from the shooting. As you can see, there's the loading screen, of course. What looks to be, what can I say? It just reminds me of Airwolf's mask, doesn't it? Stringfellow Hawk. There on the screen. So you know that you're going to be in a chopper and you've got to protect a Jeep. Playability 68%, addictive quality 72%, overall rating then was 73%. And it won't be too long now before we load it, but we'll skip ahead and we'll get to actually playing the game. Just turn the... that's it. Right. Very military sounding AY tune. Right, you've got your usual options. Port 1, Port 2 Sinclair, 3 for keyboard and 4 for Kempston. You can play as the chopper or the Jeep. And I will be playing as 4, so make sure my joystick's on. And I'll keep the sound down as well. Just giving the AY a good run. Good, isn't it? It's a nice opening tune and it really gets you into the feel, ready for the game and what it's all about. As you can see the producer there and the programmer Nigel Brown at the bottom. Gotta give him a shout. 1988, yeah, this is reviewed in 1989 of Crash. So, let's give the game a go. Okay, straight away you've got a nice rapid firing mechanism. You've got to protect that guy at the bottom, of course. This will block rockets as well. There'll be grounders that as well. Ground missiles, look, so, and that one was a shielded one. They can actually rotate, so, and you need to block the missiles from actually hurting them. The sprites of the choppers are really well done, to be fair. You've got a slightly bigger chopper than them. Right, we can get all of these power-ups. Well, got one of them anyway, so we'll try and avoid that because that looks pretty nasty. There you are, I've lost my Jeep. He'll get replaced. That uses one of your Jeep lives up, but you've got to kind of keep him protected. And I've got that horrible thing on me now. It didn't last too long and it has taken a bit of damage, but not too much. Yeah, you've got to be careful here. And when you get towards the end of each level, you'll get a big boss fight. In this case, we're going to get a massive chopper. Certain rockets you can avoid, most you can't. Try and he's obviously going for the big flashing effect. You know, not epileptic friendly, is it really? Okay, we've got a big bonus. That was the first level done. The Jeep gets a score as well, even though you've just played as the chopper. I've got 3 choppers left and 2 Jeeps, as you can see. Change of ground now. You're on a more of a green surface than a rocky surface. Why are they all set at night time? Aha, maybe it's a stealth attack. Whoa, we've got to avoid that one. We couldn't destroy those missiles, incidentally, so I've had to, you know... Oof. This is more sort of a shoot 'em up game. You've got to hit the rapid fire. You do get bonuses and you get improved weaponry as well. Oh no, I'm going to miss that. Oh, just about got it. Nearly lost something there. Oh, that was good. So bonus there, of course. See this hard concentration. What on earth is coming out? They're parachuting some more of these, are they? Okay, we'll get rid of them. Oh, they all link up to make that. Well, it looks like to be an impossible thing to destroy, but we'll give it a go. I don't know if there's any combination you've got to try and destroy them in, but it's taking some killing, isn't it? Oh! Ah, double cannon, that's good. And we've got another big bad boy to kill here, so we'll deal with him and we'll probably hopefully get on to the next scene. As you can see, I've got 2 choppers left. Well, I've got 1 chopper left. Now, as soon as I say that, ooh. And there we go. Straight through that level, great little bonus, and my score is going up, so that's good. Oh, like it. So what do I think of the game? Well, I think it's really well done. I think it's great graphically. There's plenty there to keep you going. It really is good on the firing mechanism. It is quite easy to avoid the bullets. Some of the bullets you can destroy. Getting used to what you can destroy and what you can't destroy is good. We're going through a military base now. Them things are annoying. But if you destroy them, of course, you destroy everything in sight. So that isn't too bad. Keeping an eye on making sure that your Snatch Land Rover, as we call it, is safe. Can be quite an achievement sometimes. Ah, is that a game over for me? Yes, because I'm not playing as the Jeep. That is the end of that score. Well, I really enjoyed that, as you can tell. Silkworm. For a side-scrolling shoot 'em up with good graphics, and they look like choppers on springs there, so I don't know what that's all about, but and a nice variation between the different levels as well. Just the bottom needs to change, can make it feel completely different. Very playable, very easy to get into, not too difficult. I'd say on a difficult scale, out of 10, I would say it was about a 6. So it is, you know, you should be able to get, on your first go, should be able to get through at least a couple of levels, if not 3 or 4 as you get better with it. The game, enjoyed it, marks out of 10 from the Retro Robbins treatment. Well, I'm going to give that a healthy 9 out of 10. Slightly more than Crash did, because I thought it was pretty good. Even the AY tune at the start was very good. It'd be nice to have a little bit of AY tune to add a bit more atmosphere, but then the sound effects would have been... It would have taken away from the sound effects, and the sound effects of the firing and the explosions were pretty good. That said, let's raise a glass now to Sir Clive Sinclair. Yes, it's coming up to, or has been, over a week now since, unfortunately, we've lost Sir Clive Sinclair. And Greavesy also passed away from the Saint and Greaves show, and of course the actor that played Boise from Only Fools and Horses. All of them iconic and all of them of their time. But I'm here to talk about Clive and what he is meant to me. We all know Clive started off writing for a magazine, and a very clever guy indeed. Famous for his inventions and failures, and that's all part of a necessary course of creating a personality or character. Larger than life, one of a kind and irreplaceable. So if you don't think Clive has an effect on you, he's had an effect on all of us, and in a way a very good thing too. He's taken us from, let's put it this way, without Sir Clive Sinclair, you know, Chris Curry may never have had a job carrying on in the field he did. So maybe Acorn wouldn't exist, and the computer in the schools, which would have been, you know, everywhere, probably might never have happened. Joffa Smith, and Matthew Smith, and one or two great coders for the games, and the idea of the Spectrum was to be a business computer, hence the reason why it was text based, and it wasn't made for games. However, as Joffa Smith once quoted, he liked the Spectrum for programming on, and grateful to Clive for that, because it was like a blank canvas. It sorted the men out from the boys of coders and game developers. Everybody on these forums, Spectrum Forever, Spectrum for Everyone, Spectrums Around the World, Worlds of Spectrum, can owe a great deal of gratitude to Sir Clive for his ZX80, ZX81 and Spectrum 1 to 8K before he sold on to Amstrad. They did continue the legacy a little bit with the Grey Plus 2, Plus 3 as well, and Plus 2A, which was great. Clive renowned, of course. They've documented well about his failed attempts with the Zyke and his Sinclair C5 bike, but he was really ahead of his time, because now we've all got to go to electric to sort of save the environment, and with what he's created there, the only limitation he had was, he was cost cutting, there's no doubt about that. That was his beauty. Cheap and nasty? No, just cheap. That was Clive's motto. He didn't want to sell you anything that didn't do what he was telling you it was going to do. Yes, he exaggerated the figures. We know that. And he was a character, and he had a temper. There's no doubt about that. It's well documented. But he was also a very kind guy and a very thoughtful guy. And quick to forgive. As it was Micro Men showed you with him, after losing temper, he'd be down the barrel of beef or barrel of whatever pub it was to have a drink, and talk about the day's events, etc. In a way, he helped create Sir Clive Sinclair. The barrow boy that he calls Amstrad himself, he used to go around there and get parts from him, and of course make amplifiers, etc. In the early days. So what he did basically, he brought computing to the masses, and he brought it in a way that, cutting the cost of everybody. Admittedly, there was limitations to that hardware, but with limitations comes creativity, and people found creative ways to work around these limitations and get past them. For instance, his legacy is the 48K Spectrum, and all the computers will live on. His failures, such as the electric bike, the television, which didn't quite take off and wouldn't be much good today, his successes with the calculator, and his great articles in the magazine that he writ from such an early age, just smacked of genius. And that's exactly what he was. He was a creative genius, a sort of garden shed inventor, Uncle Clive if you like, Sir Uncle Clive, let's say. How has he affected me? Well, Crash Magazine, Sinclair User, Sinclair Programs were all magazines that I bought as a kid, and I was fairly lazy when it comes to education, to say the least. I didn't like to read. Of course I don't. I'd rather go out there and play football with my friends. But thanks to having the ZX81, which was my first computer, it didn't last too long before I moved on to having a second-hand ZX Spectrum, which I had to learn to repair the keyboard as the M button wouldn't work, and I had to really beat down on it to get the speech marks for load speech. Once a game was loaded, it was great, especially if you could redefine the keys. Eventually I learned how to fix that, and I was moving on then to other computers. I went and bought my Spectrum Plus 3. I didn't go for the others, I went straight for the Plus 3. Because I was quite late on, and that I kept taking back saying the sound wasn't right, because I'd heard my mate's 128k toast rack and the AY sound was great, and I knew back then there was something wrong with the sound on the Plus 3. Years on, I found out that there was a fault, and it's fixable. A little bit of the volume's lost in fixing it, but the fault was fixable. And I loved my Plus 3, and I learned to program using the Plus 3 because it was quick and easy to put your games back onto disc, off disc, to, basic programming. I didn't quite move into code. It was a little bit above me, to be fair, but I'm slowly learning, and I've slowly learned, and I'm still learning to this day. So Clive really has made a legacy. His global reach around the world for his Timex ZX81 in the States, they didn't really get the Spectrum. And of course you've got people like TJ, who does a little program on the Spectrum Next. The Spectrum Next is thanks to Sir Clive in the early days, thanks to Rick Dickinson, who was also sadly demised and didn't get to see the finished article, which was a shame, but I'm sure he'd be happy. And he's probably arguing with Clive right now, up in the sky, in the big 48k in the sky. So yeah, I am rambling on a bit, I know, but he did touch us globally. You've got people from Australia, Russia, and all over the world who are creating new software for the Spectrum. So it's thanks to Sir Clive that I was able to get my head into a book. It was thanks to Sir Clive that I was able to read. And it was really thanks to Sir Clive that sort of brought me out of my shell a little bit and, gave me something to fall back on. And I've always been with the Spectrum. I had a Game Gear. Yeah, I had a Game Gear, great. I had a Mega Drive. I also had the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 4 is what I currently have. But I still go back to my ZX Spectrums because I love them. They're nostalgia, they're memories. So, to sum this up, I'd like to raise a glass to Sir Clive, and I will do so. For the man who was ahead of his time, born at the right time, and left his mark in time. I say thank you, Sir Clive. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for making me who I am. Thank you for all my new friends across the retro community. And just thank you for being Sir Clive. Mona Lisa, you have painted in a computer. To Sir Clive, long live his legacy, and may he rest in peace. Sir Clive, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. And on that note, it's time for me to go. I've been Retro Robbins. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't like to end on a sour note, obviously, but, memories are memories. And this is just a big thank you. So depending on when you watch this, have a nice working week or weekend. And it's bye from now. Take care.